When we're in that trough of despair, we reach rock bottom. If we choose to grind it out, to learn, to push forward, we actually exit in the space called informed optimism. I couldn't receive that word high performer. I thought, I'm not a high performer. I just really like doing cool things and at exceptional levels. And so if you are still at that point where maybe you're where I was some years ago and you didn't want to call yourself a high performer because that just seemed lofty, maybe you can identify, and this felt more comfortable to me, with saying, I'm highly motivated. I'm highly ambitious. Welcome back, or welcome to the Conscious Investor Podcast, the show where we talk about health, mindset, and wealth building strategies. I'm your host, Julie Holly, and I'm always grateful for nearly 5 years now to share Monday Mindset episodes with you, Conscious Investor. Today, we are going to be diving into why you can't beat them, and spoiler, why you don't need to. And before we dive into this amazing topic that I know is going to really unlock some new potential for you, I want to give a super shout out to an amazing listener who took time to leave an honest rating and review. You know, I always say, please let me know. Even if you don't like the show, just let me know. Honesty is great and it's welcome here. And thank you, Kelly Hartman. She left this review over on Apple Podcasts, which says, insightful. Love the concepts, insights, and mindset upgrades shared in this podcast. A great listen for growing in all different facets of life, including real estate, mindset, and healthy habits. Kelly, I just can't thank you enough. It is rocket fuel when a conscious investor takes a moment to leave an honest rating, and especially when you take time to just share your words with me. It is so absolutely encouraging. So if you haven't already left an honest rating and review and you've been listening for a while, head on over to Apple Podcasts. It makes my week, month, year, it's like confetti all over the place. I also want to let you know a huge announcement. Today is the day I have been planning and preparing with a team for this very day, because today is the day where Conscious Investor Growth Summit tickets are officially on sale. And right now, they are the super early bird price, meaning this is the lowest rock bottom. We decided this year we're not going to offer any discounts. We're not going to do anything with codes, but we are going to have super early bird pricing. And so this is your opportunity to snatch up one of those 150 tickets that are for sale and available so that you can secure your spot and join us at the Conscious Investor Growth Summit. The dates are March 6th through March 9th. And remember, the 6th is an evening reception. I know what it's like to travel to and from North Idaho. And so we just want to give you a nice, comfortable landing pad. Head on over to consciousinvestorgrowthsummit.com. And that is where you can learn more about the event and you can secure your tickets. I can assure you, you don't want to hesitate. I'm not growing this event. It's not intended to be some big event with lots of people, and it's a no sales event. It's an event to really serve and support you in every facet of your life. It is an experience unlike anything else, and you will leave absolutely supercharged. So do not hesitate to pick up your ticket. I want to see you there. And I know I want to see you there because I'm like even smiling as I'm recording this because I'm reflecting on all the amazing experiences we had at the previous Conscious Investor Growth Summits. So don't miss out on year number 3. It is an entirely new speaker lineup that is specifically curated every year. I love all the previous speakers, so don't get me wrong on that, but I like to bring fresh new concepts and ideas to your doorstep so that you can learn and expand and grow instead of hearing the same topics presented every single year. And so this is your opportunity to just expand the footprint in your health, your mindset, and your wealth. Head on over to consciousinvestorgrowthsummit.com to secure your ticket and learn more. All right. My excitement is not going to fade because there's been so much work and so much labor going into getting this launched. And so I'm just going to smile because I'm just already anticipating seeing you in person. It's so special. But let's dive into why you can't beat them. And spoiler, why it doesn't even matter. And I was thinking about why this concept even comes up. And realistically, conscious investor, you and I are we're high performers. And I remember when I couldn't receive that word high performer, I thought, I'm not a high performer. I just really like doing cool things and at exceptional levels. And so if you are still at that point where maybe you're where I was some years ago and you didn't want to call yourself a high performer because that just seemed lofty, maybe you can identify, and this felt more comfortable to me, with saying, I'm highly motivated. I'm highly ambitious, right? And so if that feels more comfortable, try that on. But I'm talking about those of us, right? We're highly motivated. We're highly ambitious. We are high performers. And a lot of times we can find ourselves kind of stepping into new categories because there is this cycle. And it goes like this. And again, conscious investor, I will throw myself under the bus all the time. And if the shoe fits, if you're like, oh, me too, all right, we're in it together and we'll be able to grow together. What I noticed is that I would find myself, even as a child, getting into something new, even as a teenager. And I would think when I first started, most things came very easily and very naturally. So for example, when I began rock climbing, I was a natural. I have a lot of the way my muscle structure is and my flexibility, and I love to solve puzzles. Tetris was one of my favorite games. It was like solving a Tetris puzzle on the wall, and I was able to contort my body in weird ways that most people, couldn't when they were first beginning. And I was able to really find a lot of success rock climbing early on. It came very easy. I even competed in a competition kind of for funsies and just obliterated the competition. And I'm not saying that because like, oh, yay. But I was competing in the lowest level category that I could have competed in. And so that was my mental perception of myself, was I'm a beginner. And so I need to like compete in this zone. But my ability level wasn't at a beginner. So my perception and my ability were not matching. But here's what's interesting about it, is that it also gave me this false sense of like, oh, wow, this is so easy. This is so easy. Like, I'm so good. Now, I'm not saying I got egotistical. I actually didn't get egotistical or big-headed or anything like that. But in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I can climb pretty much anything. This is awesome. Like, nobody can beat me. I'm fine. I'm kind of invincible, right? And I knew that there were levels above me, and I did always have a challenge. So it wasn't like, oh, I could go and climb anything. But the point was, it was a mental construct that I had in my mind. I'm a beginner. This is easy. I can easily go and conquer anything I want to conquer. And then I stepped and graduated into the intermediate zone. And in that intermediate zone, I started to realize, oh my gosh, there are a lot of people that are way, way better at this than I am. And there are a lot of people that do this rock climbing thing. And so now I felt like everything had become diluted, that maybe I wasn't quite so special, that, wow, maybe things don't come as easily. So all of my thinking really just got flipped around. And I wrote down in my notes here, I went from feeling like new, it seems like there's a lot of opportunity, to feeling this overwhelm of competition. I'm going to translate this also into investing terms because, we do invest in real estate. And so when we think about that, oh my gosh, I'm investing in real estate. And when we're new, it seems like nobody around us is investing in real estate. And then as we start investing, it seems like everybody is investing in real estate. And think about the multifamily or the apartment scene for the last several years, the last decade. It just got absolutely saturated. Right. And there's so much competition that a lot of people left the investing scene. And so this intermediate zone is a really interesting place. And that right there, if we were talking about the emotional cycle of change, which I've referenced many times on the show, I got that from, I'm looking over at the book, Brian Moran's book. We'll hold it up for you if you're watching over on YouTube, The 12-Week Year. And in this book, he references the emotional cycle of change. And in that, when we start something new, we have that uninformed optimism, right? Oh my gosh, rock climbing's so easy. This is so much fun. Oh wow, investing, this is so easy. This is so much fun. And that uninformed optimism, as we continue to journey, takes this really steep nosedive down into the trough of despair, right? And that's where we face reality. Whoa, there are other people that do this. Wow, these other people are more experienced and they're more equipped at this and they are better at this. And you could apply this to any category in your life. Some of us have even applied this to different parts of our personal life. Wow, I'm not as good of a spouse. I'm not as good of a parent. I wish I should be more like those parents over there. Oh gosh, if I could get this together. At work, we might start comparing, and this is where it really is. It's a lot of comparison, but we can start doing that as we learn more. We start to see the discrepancies in our life. And so when we hit it down at the bottom of that trough of despair, at some point, most people will just divert and go back up. And we've talked about this before, I know, but they will go back up to that uninformed optimism. They will try something new and they rinse and repeat right there. And since we've talked about this cycle before, here's where I want to shift it a little differently. When we're in that trough of despair, we reach rock bottom. If we choose to grind it out, to learn, to push forward, we actually exit in the space called informed optimism. And that means, wow, we're not just blindly believing something. We have full confidence in the lay of the land, in ourselves, in our capacity, our capabilities, and we have confidence and optimism that we can execute on something effectively, efficiently in any part of our life. This can be applied anywhere. But I want to encourage you that if you're down there at the bottom of the trough of despair right now, and you're feeling like I was at the beginning. I was a beginner. I was, uninformed optimism. And now I went down into that intermediate zone, which just can really be so discouraging. When we are there, I think one of the biggest tools that we can have in exiting and taking the escalator up, and it's actually more like hiking up Half Dome or hiking up Yosemite Falls. For those of you who've been to Yosemite Valley, my old stomping grounds, oh my gosh, hiking up Half Dome is just toilsome. And hiking up any of the waterfalls from the valley floor in Yosemite is just a laborious process. They create these stairs out of the granite. They blew them up. They created these stairs, but these stairs aren't your normal, 8-inch steps that you would have in a house. I'm not sure if that's exactly how big they are. These stairs are sometimes, 2 feet high. And so it's basically like doing lunges at the gym, for, a mile, maybe longer. And so it's just absolutely exhausting. And that's the type of exhaustion I am talking about when I say if we're trying to go from being an intermediate who is in the bottom of the valley of despair, and it's a real thing, then we're going to have to take those big, heavy steps up to climb out into informed optimism. One of the most important things that I have discovered that you need to have at that moment is that you're not in competition with anybody. So we feel that other people are better than us. It's competitive. We're at a disadvantage. We can never learn enough. And we tell ourselves so many other stories. But the reality is that we don't have to beat anybody at all. We don't have to best anybody. We don't have to learn more. We just have to do the thing. Do the uncomfortable thing. Take those uncomfortable steps forward. And in doing so, we need to remember that we are extremely uniquely qualified. Your DNA, how God designed and created you, pre-qualifies you for doing the very thing that your heart is drawn to doing, right? And so if that's, some type of real estate investing, even if it's an activity, for me right now, I am working on the wish fulfillment business. It's part of the coaching that I do that I am like, man, I believe in this heart and soul. And so when we step into that and say, wow, I'm uniquely created to do this, does that mean that I'm better than others? No. And as soon as we start flipping that script and realizing I don't have to be better than them, because here's the thing, I will never be them. And guess what? They can never be me. We don't have the same DNA. We're humans, but I have my own unique DNA imprint, and you do too. So you're not in competition with anyone else. So it's a matter of simply believing in who you are created to be and stepping into that person. And when you do that, now you have the freedom to enjoy the process, because you're not side-eyeing like, oh, what's coming up over here? Am I going to get blindsided by something? Because nobody's going to be you. Nobody can best you because nobody can be you. And if you're like me and you might be a little competitive, it's also a good reminder to say, I don't need to try to beat the other person because I can never be them. And this is why there are so many books out there and podcasts out there and YouTube channels and TikTok channels and blah. Like there are so many things, so many content creators out there. And it works because every single person is coming from their own unique posture and position. What would the world look like if you did that? What would the world look like if you shut down that conversation of that competitive nature, right? That I have to beat them, or are they going to beat me? If you just shut down that conversation altogether and said, that's not what this is about. This is about me growing and rising into who I'm already created to be. This is about me figuring out how to utilize this DNA that I have been uniquely gifted with. It's such a beautiful opportunity. And that's where I in my notes, I wrote, we have beginner, intermediate, and then we have expert. We could think about, going skiing and snowboarding. You've got your green circles, your blue squares, and your black diamonds. Well, a lot of times we want to keep ourselves and our lives over in the comfort of the green circles or the blue squares because we have this, oh, I'm not an expert. But guess what? It doesn't matter. And this is what I wrote in my notes for you, Conscious Investor. I said, it doesn't matter. I'm the only me. I'm the only me. So it doesn't matter. No one else can be this. I already am the expert on me. And now I have the joy of learning how to take me into everything that I do. If you shift your posture in that way, Conscious Investor, it makes that grind, those fierce steps up and out of the trough of despair, a lot more fun because now we can enjoy the process. And I don't know about you, but I love being out there on the trail. I love when my legs are burning. It's that weird love, right? I love it when I'm out on my mountain bike and I'm out of breath and I'm exhausted because it feels good. And that's the kind of feeling that we get when we just simply say, like, I'm not in competition with anybody else. I don't have to try to be anybody else. I don't have to try to best anyone. And you know what? I'm never going to beat them. I will never beat them. I will never be better than them because I am not them. And they will never best me or be better than me because they are not me. We all have something very unique to offer in this world. Now, I'm not saying participation ribbons for everyone. The only way that's going to happen is if you're willing to do the thing, right? You're willing to do the heavy lifting. You're willing to put in the work to truly discover who you are and how to utilize all the beauty of the resources that you are equipped with. So have fun with that. Enjoy the process and be the very best you. I hope this helps you believe in yourself. I hope this concept helps you find that joy in the process of things and finding the joy in the value of who you are and who you are created to be in this world. The world needs you. The world needs you to show up for you in the very best you-ness that you are, right? And the ever-growing you-ness that you are. That's what I have for you this week, Conscious Investor. You can't beat them and they can't beat you because it's not even trying to beat anybody. Just be you. I have a special opportunity. And so if you're listening this far, it means that you are the kind of person that would be interested in this opportunity. The second Saturday of November, I'm actually going to be hosting a very special opportunity at my house in Far North, Idaho. And it's going to be open to no more than 8 people, no more than 8 participants. But we are going to walk through a new framework. We're going to spend the day going through a really exciting new framework that I'm getting ready to launch. And I want to get some feedback on it. I want to allow some people to experience it. And so I'm inviting you at a very low ticket entry point, right? To come to my house to have this experience with me and up to 8 other people. It is going to be part of the wish fulfillment business that I'm excitedly working on and building on. And it's part of a bigger project that is taking place in the little background here at the Conscious Investor podcast. And so I want to invite you, if you're interested in that, then go ahead and shoot me an email at julie@julieholly.com. And just in that subject line, say November experience. If you put that in there, then I will know you're interested in the November experience. The day, it's going to cost $97. So I'm like, I can't even tell you how much value there is for $97. But quite frankly, Conscious Investor, that's a little bit of part of my own processing. Like, I really don't want to put the full, it's kind of like beta testing, right? I know it's going to be exceptional, but it's also the first time I'm presenting this information and walking people through this experiential process of really dialing in and figuring out what is it that I've really wanted to create and generate in my life that feels out of reach. I can't get this done in the next, it's going to take longer than 90 days for me to do this. Okay. Because if it's something that you can do earlier than that, then no, that's something you just need to get organized with. But if this is something bigger than you can figure it out if you organize your time, right, and your resources, then this is for you. What I do on the coaching side that some of you are aware of is I really help people make these dreams, these wishes. They're not dreams, they're wishes. They seem like that's unattainable. I help people do that. and bring it to life. And I have created a framework that is going to support more people in doing that in a way that might support more people in an economical way. And so if that's you, if you're interested in joining me for that 1-day intensive, the second Saturday of November at my home in North Idaho, then just shoot me an email, julie@julieholly.com, and put in that subject line, November experience. And I will know you're interested, and I will send you the details. Again, it's limited to 8. I may cap it at 6. Because I really want it to be valuable and for everybody participating. Conscious Investor, I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you take to really allow yourself to expand and explore who you're created to be, and to not play it safe, to not just stay in that loop of, uninformed optimism, trough of despair. Let me go back up there. I really appreciate that you are that caliber that says, wow, I feel drawn to do this, even if it's challenging. I believe in it so much, and I'm going to come out in the informed optimism side of life. You're amazing. If this has served you, or if you believe it's going to serve someone in your life, please share it. And please take a moment, leave an honest rating and review. And I'll say it, even if you have something that you feel like is, maybe you have a dissenting opinion. That's okay. I can handle it. And communication is always, always valued. Until next time, Conscious Investor, cheers to your health, your mindset, and your wealth.